William Ruto, you need to know, the Americans want to know why you are working with Al-Shabaab. Why, when you are in Mandera, you met 3 leaders of the Al-Shabaab militia at night to discuss business with them. They want to know why. They also want to know why you have removed the requirement for vetting of non-Kenyans before they are given IDs. The Americans are concerned that suspected terrorists will be registered as Kenyans and they will find their way to America and the rest of the world and create terror in the world. Your decision to suspend vetting of foreigners before they are given registration in Kenya is a threat to world security. And not just the Americans are concerned, Kenyans are concerned too. And this you must answer. You cannot endanger the security of the world because of your business interest. It is true you are doing business with Al-Shabaab, but you cannot endanger world security. The Americans also want to know why, against the Kenya Constitution, you have become the worst violator of human rights in Kenya. Why are you abducting young children? Why are you killing young children? Why did you abduct American, Turkey nationals of American origin who were abducted and disappeared? These are things that are in the radar of the American security system. You can play around with people in Kenya, but you cannot play with the American government. They have you on the radar. And the evidence is everywhere. And you cannot run away from it. So please, don't hide behind China. You know, sisi tumezoea kukibiswa nyumbani na kasoko na tiagas. So when we have wonderful people around us, full of smiles, loving us, appreciating us, we are feeling on top of the world. I wish I had more time here. Unfortunately, I have to leave early in the morning. But I'll be back. I'll be back. Yeah? I've really loved this city and the people. You are wonderful people. You are very welcoming. I deserve to spend more time with you because it's a rare opportunity. Secondly, let me thank you, our great people from Kenya, for being united, for staying together and loving one another. That is the Kenyan spirit, and that is my wish. And I'm very happy since I came to the US more than a month now. Wherever I have gone, I've found Kenyan people. They love one another and they stay together. I am very encouraged, and that is the message I'm sending back home, telling our people what I have found in the United States, that our people are one, our people love one another. And I want to encourage you to continue loving one another, staying together, be your brother's keeper. Let us hold each other's hand and let us live in peace, harmony, and love, because that is the right thing to do. Why is Rick G in America? Rick G has come to the United States to listen to the ground, because I believe no leader can succeed unless you align with your people. And the only way to align with your people is to listen to them. That is where Kasongo has lost it. He forgot he was elected by people. He doesn't listen to them anymore. And even when there is issues, he doesn't care. He doesn't give a damn. I belong to the school of thought that continuous engagement is a hallmark of good leadership. So I came to the States to listen to the ground. Hapa Midwest munasemaje?
One time.
Ati munasemaje?
One time.
Hapa ndio munasema?
Yeah.
Kasongo ni one time. Mumeamua? Museme na sauti kubwa asikie akiwa nyumbani. Ati munasemaje? Thank you very much. I've come because the people who live in the United States are part of Kenya. And they, like other Kenyans, care about home. And more than anybody else, the people living here are troubled by what is happening at home. They are anxious, they are fearful, they are worried. And I came so that I brief you as to what is going on back home. And I tell you the few ideas that we have of what we need to do. And I plead with you to walk with us in that journey, to liberate our country, to restore our dignity, to restore our country, and to make sure that we have a beautiful country that we call home. Because at the end of it all, east or west, I have no doubt in my mind that all of you in this hall and all of the Kenyan people across the United States and elsewhere have a plan one day to go back home. Is that true? And you want to go to a home that preferably better than where you are. So it is your concern, it is your prayer that home works, systems work, there is a peaceful environment to do business, there is security, there is healthcare, there is education, so that when your days come and you need to come back home, you can leave your children here continuing with your investments and retire back home to a very peaceful retirement, and that is what all of you would wish. I am aware sufficiently that you know what is going on at home, because you people do a lot of work back home by supporting families, and therefore on a daily basis you are in conversation with the people back home, and you, like all of us, are concerned about what is going on at home. And before I go into serious things, on a light note, cousin Omari, ako wapi Omari? Amenda. Where is Omari, the guy who is married in Lemuru? Omari? Omani. Where is he, the guy who is married in Lemuru? So when you see him, you tell him, traditionally, and I think that's why he has left. I think somebody from Mulima must have sold me. Because I wanted to tell him, traditionally, all the girls are my daughters. Yes. And payment of dowry is a life thing. So anytime, anytime you meet your father-in-law, you must. So I had hoped to kutana naye nyuma ya hema anipatie kitu in dollars because of having my daughter from Lemuru. Let me say this with a light touch. Let me say this. Back home, it's tough. There are tears. There is anguish. There is fear. There is uncertainty. Our children between the ages of 15 to 24 are being abducted and killed by the state. More than 200 kids since 2024 have been abducted, tortured, and killed, and others have disappeared. Parents worry. When you don't know where your child is, you cannot sleep. If you call your child and the phone is off, you are worried. And the situation has been worsened. That Kasongo and his boys have now gone berserk, and they no longer fear, and they no longer pretend. The CS in charge of Interior, Kipchumba Murkomen, in broad daylight, gave an order to police to shoot, to kill. A week later, Kasongo himself, shamelessly, in total impunity and total disregard of the Bible teaching that thou shalt not kill, in total violation of the Kenyan Constitution, publicly announced that our children should be shot in the leg. The chairman of the National Assembly Committee on Defense and Foreign Relations, Nelson Koech, corrected Kasongo very angrily that the kids should not be shot in the leg, they should be shot in the head. That is the situation we face as a country, where in total disregard of the Constitution, against biblical teachings, a president of a country elected by the people has the audacity to give orders for the extermination of our children. That is why Kenyans are saying, Bwana Kasongo, even if you pipe milk to our homes, even if you build roads made of gold, even if you paid us every day 100,000 shillings, your hands carry the blood of our children, and there is no way we can vote for you. And that is why the one-term movement is now like a religion in Kenya. Everywhere you go, where 2 or 3 are, that is the discussion. In the Uber, in the salon, in the matatu, in the bar, the discussion in the country is that this man must go because his hands bear the blood of our children. I want to say that this situation cannot be allowed. And since he is not pretending anymore about the killing of the children, he has announced it himself. The people of Kenya have no choice but to make sure they send him home and remove him from office through an election. And that is what is going on. Besides that, the economy is on a nosedive. Pending bills, people who worked with the government for many years, he has refused to pay them. They are owed more than 900 billion Kenya shillings. If you look at the Nation newspaper every morning, there are about 10 to 12 pages of auctions of properties being sold belonging to businessmen who did work for government and they have not been paid for the last 3 years. The only consolation is that nobody is buying the property because nobody has the money to buy it. So they keep on re-advertising every week because There is nobody who has money to buy the properties. William Ruto found a working education system. President Mwai Kibaki, the third president of the Republic of Kenya, the greatest leader of our time, brought free primary education, and President Uhuru Kenyatta improved it by extending to secondary schools and also bringing 100% transition from primary to secondary school. He found a working university financing model and a help, a working system most of you went through, including I, that he put it aside and brought something that is not working. As we speak, many university students are at home. They cannot access university education. Most principals of secondary schools and head teachers of primary schools are living in fear and in hiding because of being auctioned. The schools are being auctioned because they have not paid suppliers, because money meant for capitation has not been provided by government. So the education system is facing near collapse. The health system, and you people here in America know how important and critical a working health system means to our people. He found a system called NHIF that was struggling but working, that needed improvement. The people at NHIF had come up with a program that needed 800 million Kenya shillings to reform it and make it workable and compliant with the present times. Kasongo came and discarded that system and brought something called SHA and SHIF at a cost of 104 billion Kenya shillings, money that he is stealing with his cronies. And despite stealing all that money, the system is not working. And you people know that because you have parents back at home. You know when they go to hospital, they cannot get their bills paid by insurance. Again, that is something that he has destroyed. He came up with something called the housing levy, ostensibly to construct affordable houses for the people of Kenya. It is not the work of government all over the world to construct houses. Governments put up roads, water, electricity, drainage, sewage. It is the work of the private sector to construct houses. But he has put it by force because he has business interest in company with some Asians to supply cement, steel, and iron sheets. So the whole affordable housing scheme is about corruption. It's about conflict of interest. Again, you find in agriculture, all the sugar factories have been sold to Asians in partnership with Kasongo. Last week, despite us having rice in Moya and Ahero that has not been bought, that is in the stores, he has authorized the importation of 5,000 metric tons of rice, duty-free, that will come and kill the rice farmer in Moya and Ahero. So you find, because of state capture, the president is in business in every sector. He is competing with every other businessman. And because of his advantage as president, he has killed all other business people. He's doing all the businesses in Kenya. I remember when we came into office, there is something called e-Citizen. It was an app that was being operated by some private people and doing some little work for government. And when he came, he brought a lot of issues saying it is wrong for anybody in the private sector to collect money on behalf of government. And he said the Ministry of ICT must take up e-Citizen. Little did I know, he wanted the owners of e-Citizen to come into the open. So when they came, he negotiated with them, took 80% of the business and said they should continue, and ordered all government services to be onboarded through e-citizen. Out of every 5 shillings that is paid through e-citizen, he pockets 3. That is not enough. The Auditor General has reported more than 10 billion shillings collected through e-citizen cannot be traced. So what is happening in Kenya is that we don't have a government. What we have is a criminal enterprise, theft of public funds, where the president has taken over all the businesses in the country. He's the chief procurement officer, he's the chief accountant, he is a supplier, he is everything. And nobody can ask a question. And that now brings me to explain to you why we fell out. I believed this man because he came with a Bible, and I'm a Christian. I'm the husband of a pastor. So when you come with a Bible and say you are saved, I believed this man. And all the things he told me and told the people of Kenya, we believed. I did not even have an MOU with him. We never wrote any agreement. I believed everything he told me. But when we arrived in government, it's a one-man show. He makes all the decisions. And all these decisions are selfish. It's about him. He's a businessman. He doesn't care for the country. And I started telling him this is wrong. Within a very short time, he captured Parliament. Parliament cannot ask a question. He captured the Senate. They cannot ask a question. He compromised all institutions of oversight. Nobody can ask a question. The only person who remained who could ask a question was Tinga, Raila Odinga. And he told me, we'll look for this man. He loves money. We'll give him some money. He'll also keep quiet. And sure as December 25 is Christmas. The way I'm telling you, just as sure as December 25 is Christmas, the way Osinde has explained, the man is eating and hence observing table manners. He cannot speak, his mouth is full. So the two are one and the same. And you know, sometimes we were debating. Okay, William Ruto is a great mistake. It's a mistake we have to live with. We made a mistake. I made a mistake. And I have apologized to the people of Kenya. But what was the alternative? Had we elected Raila Odinga, the same thing would have happened. The two would have crossed ranks. They start eating together the way they are doing today. So we are just saying Kenya was presented with two unpleasant choices. There were two hyenas, but they were different. One without teeth and one with teeth. And I think to a certain extent, President Uhuru Kenyatta was right. Probably we should have gone for the hyena without teeth because it will not finish us in one day. Yeah? Si ingetukula pole pole. Sasa mimi regarding Gachagua decided to go for the hyena with the teeth. And it started with me. So somebody was telling me, much as I sympathize with you, nafikiri ni sawa, hii fisi iko na meno ilianza na wewe. Ndio sasa ikujie si? So yesterday I heard David Morales saying that Jubilee can support Raila Odinga if they abandon William Ruto. Raila Odinga and William Ruto are birds of the same feather. None of them is an alternative. We must get rid of the two because they are Kenya's problem. So when he bought Raila Odinga and he kept quiet, then he started stealing everything in the country, started killing people, and I disagreed with him. And I was left as the only option now to fight for the people of Kenya from within government. Everybody else had been compromised. I was left alone. And I started fighting from within. So when he decided to kill our children, the Gen Z, I said no. And when he insisted and killed them on June 25th, 2024, I went to Mombasa and called a press conference as Deputy President and told him off. And that was our parting shot. We never talked again from that day. We would only communicate in messages because I called him out publicly for killing our children. If Rigathi Gachagua was a selfish man, I would have agreed with William Ruto, like Raila. We sit and eat, then we finish the country. Today I will be a very wealthy man. I would have joined him in all the deals. E-Citizen, we do. Fuliza, we do. Medical equipment, we do. Because he was willing to let me eat so that I keep quiet. He was quite happy. In fact, he told me, we wacha mambo mingi bana. We kuja tu kule bana. Hii Kenya ni yako. Hii Kenya ilikuliwa na Kenyatta bado isha, ikakuliwa na Moi bado isha, ikakuliwa na Uhuru. We shida yako ni gani? You know? Had I been just another Kenyan, like the Kenyans I see, if I was like Raila Odinga, a selfish person, I would have agreed with William Ruto. I stay as Deputy President. I enjoy the privileges, there are many, and we eat. We finish the country. We let the children die, and I just sit there. But my conscience wouldn't allow. I am not a wealthy man, but I'm not a poor person. And I don't need money myself. My children are big, they are working. My wife is here, is a pastor. Nywele yake hata haihitaji 3,000. So, what reason would I had to join William Ruto in a gravity train to finish our country, to steal everything? I said no, and I paid for it, and I'm happy that I became the sacrificial lamb for the people of Kenya. We will fix our country, and I want you to be comfortable with the knowledge that the darkest hour is just before dawn. Our dawn is coming. The mood in the country, people of Kenya have made a decision, and nothing can change that decision. In fact, it's only that it's far away. Ni mbali sana. 2 years is a long time. But we don't have a choice because we are democracy, and we don't want change through one constitutional means. We want change through the ballot. So what we are asking is Kenyans to persevere, to be resilient, to be patient, and we'll make the change at the right time. I was worried before I came here that the level of impunity by the president is becoming dangerous because people are being killed every day. When we had Sabasaba, the government hired criminals to burn shops, to destroy property under police supervision. Policemen were shooting people without caring. Young children were killed, and the president did not care because there is nobody to ask him any question. And even when we complain, he doesn't care. I am very encouraged that through your efforts, the day before yesterday, the chairman of the Senate Foreign Relations Committee, Senator James Rich, tabled a bill in the House calling for a review of the status of Kenya as a non-NATO ally for several reasons. Among them, that William Ruto is working with the terrorist groups, most notably RSF of Sudan, where he is in gold business with Hemeti, and where Kenya supplies arms to go and kill children and women in Sudan. The Americans have complained that he has also been doing business with ALSHABAAB. The Americans have called for investigations on abductions, extrajudicial killings, use of police to attack civilians, and other violation of human rights. And within 90 days, an investigation will begin and a report to be made within 180 days. And there is real panic in Nairobi. I saw William Ruto today fumbling with words, trying to explain himself, but trying to digress from the real issues. He was saying that the Americans have a problem with him because he is having a relationship with China. And he is having a relationship with China because it's good for the country. But he's running away from the real issues. And because he follows me wherever I am, it is good for me to tell him why the Americans have a problem. Not just the Americans, the people of Kenya. The Americans have just heard the cry of the Kenyan people, and they are raising issues. William Ruto, aka Kasongo, please, the Americans want to have an investigation to unearth your business dealings with Hemeti of RSF in Sudan, where you are doing gold business, and in reciprocity supplying arms to the terrorist group to kill women and children in Sudan. You cannot run away with it because we have the evidence. I was your deputy when those meetings took place. I have all the details, and we are giving those details to the Americans. And we are right here in America. And much as you think we are stupid, don't just think we are just here, just moving around. We are also here to put the Kenyan case to the American government and to Congress and to the Senate. William Ruto, you need to know, the Americans want to know why you are working with Al-Shabaab. Why, when you are in Mandera, you met 3 leaders of the Al-Shabaab militia at night to discuss business with them. They want to know why. They also want to know why you have removed the requirement for vetting of non-Kenyans before they are given IDs. The Americans are concerned that suspected terrorists will be registered as Kenyans, and they will find their way to America and the rest of the world and create terror in the world. Your decision to suspend vetting of foreigners before they are given registration in Kenya is a threat to world security. And not just the Americans are concerned, Kenyans are concerned too. And this you must answer. You cannot endanger the security of the world because of your business interest. It is true you are doing business with Al-Shabaab, but you cannot endanger world security. The Americans also want to know why, against the Kenya Constitution, You have become the worst violator of human rights in Kenya. Why are you abducting young children? Why are you killing young children? Why did you abduct American, Turkey nationals of American origin who were abducted and disappeared? These are things that are in the radar of the American security system. You can play around with people in Kenya, but you cannot play with the American government. They have you on the radar. And the evidence is everywhere. And you cannot run away from it. So please, don't hide behind China. The issues you need to confront are well known to you. That you have compromised world security in pursuit of business interest. And this time around, you will not escape. You may push people around in Kenya. You may harass everybody in Kenya. But I don't think you have the capacity to harass the American government. And they have you under the radar. You can run, but you cannot hide. Your day is coming. I want to say that the evidence is there. The shoot to kill orders by Kipchumba Murkomen, he cannot deny. Your own order of shooting people in the leg, you cannot deny. So even if you get the PS for Foreign Affairs to issue statements, the evidence is everywhere. And you must be held to account. In fact, the other day when I was here, I was with some senior American leaders last Sunday. And we were watching live a meeting taking place in Muranga, where policemen were beating leaders and they were protecting armed goons. And these American leaders could not believe that it is possible for policemen to attack civilians. They could not believe it. They could not believe that policemen can escort gangs to beat civilian population. William Ruto, that evidence is here in America. And there's no way you can run away from it. And those things will come to light. On that matter, let me appeal to all of you. In your respective states, you have senators, you have elected, you have congressmen, you have elected. Please tell them about Kenya.